You're listening to Contesting Wrestling Minisode 20.
Mini.
We are fucking reflecting
Micro.
on the first week of our Chris Jericho extravaganza. And considering that thus far we have recorded 4 episodes about Chris Jericho, the next 2 of which are dropping next week, is going to be a very short mini episode.
We've been here all day. The poop bucket is overflowing.
Yeah, it's out of control. Subscribe to the Patreon to get that reference.
Yep.
And get us a bigger poop bucket.
Yeah, please help us get a bigger poop bucket.
And get the other 2 episodes of Jericho, because 2 of them are on our Patreon.
Evan's really been eating a lot of fiber lately. It's really bad.
Look, you get old, and, you got to be careful about these things. All right, corrections.
Well, just one thing in direct reference to that first episode about Jericho becoming undisputed champion, that we should point out how it made a lot of sense for him to be the first undisputed champion, given his connection to both WCW and WWF.
Yes, agreed.
He was this, up-and-coming shining star in WCW who never got his due, never won the WCW title or was even in the title picture while he was in WCW.
Never.
Was the first guy to jump ship to WWF significantly and rose up through WWF in that way.
That's an interesting thing to think about.
And then so was the perfect guy to be the first ever both WCW and WWF champion at the same time.
Yes, since he's the first guy to jump that was an active participant already in the Monday Night Wars for WCW. Because I'm thinking, plenty of guys went, before Austin did. Mark Merrow.
Right, Austin, Foley, Triple H. They were all earlier, but during the Monday Night War.
Yeah, during the Monday Night War.
I hear detractors say that AEW bears too much of a resemblance to WCW. Do you feel that is the case?
No. They do a few things that WCW did, but nothing that made WCW bad.
They're definitely trying to gain some people who were fans of WCW who have since stopped watching wrestling from those associations. But they don't have the worst problems with WCW.
I mean, I was trying to not make the WCW comparisons either, but I mean, now that they debuted the cheerleading troupe of the Oxide Gals. It was a night that
no, they don't. Yeah, Oxide, Nitro. I got
Gotcha.
Nitrous oxide. Is that what you're going for?
I hate you both.
I know you defend him, but I don't want to listen to Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
I just still JR and Tony Schiavone, and I don't know. Excalibur's fun. I thought it was funny. This is something we didn't mention in the premium episode that's coming up with Jericho versus Cody. Excalibur not knowing the name of the Alabama Slam.
I loved that.
I
loved that. I actually, at the time, I tweeted about that, and JR liked it because, Excalibur will often give JR, some good-natured shit about not knowing some of the more modern holds and moves. And then, Cody does the Alabama Slam, and JR just Excalibur, what did Bob Holly used to call that move? And Excalibur goes, I can't. And then you hear JR, softly laugh a little, ha, yeah.
And he should really fucking know it, man. We all know that's the Alabama Slam.
And 45 seconds later, he just blurts out, Alabama Slam. That was it. Alabama Slam.
That he clearly
Bob
Googled,
Holly.
right?
Bob Holly.
We won't do a Bob Holly episode.
No, he's not worth it.
I was thinking of doing a Thurman Sparky plug for our squash match episode.
Yeah.
Don't make Evan watch Bob Holly.
Is that Hardcore Holly?
Yes.
He showed up in one thing we've watched so
Maybe a
far.
Royal Rumble.
He was one of the guys that chopped Daniel Puder. No, he's just aggressively not that significant.
He's not good, and he was an asshole.
Right.
What is the rate at which people come up with new moves? Right, because it seems to me that there's a lot of there's a tradition of doing moves that are classic moves and then just giving them a new name that's in the theme of your character.
Yeah.
And then how often is there straight up just a new move?
It seems to me like there are a handful of wrestlers who just proliferate new moves. And they're very rare.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of wrestlers come up with 0 new moves.
Yeah, they take moves from the people that do the new moves and then make the new moves good moves, which are 2 different things. But yeah, not very often. I mean, there's only so many ways 2 bodies can interact. For a while, people were trying to chase, how many flips can you do in an air before hitting the ground? you really can't do more than the 630-degree forward rotation. Like, I don't think anyone's ever going to do like the 720 or something.
And a lot of newfangled moves just get really convoluted.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to pick him up this way, and then I'm going to turn him this way, and then flip him back this way. It's just drop him on his fucking head. That's what you're going to do.
I'm going to get the guy in an arm wringer and then put my leg over their head, and then we're both going to swing forward, and then that's the playmaker, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
Who's an example of somebody who was cranking out these new moves?
Will Ospreay these days, I think.
Well, Ospreay. In the past, Nova,
Yeah, Nova.
Simon Dean was known for creating
Ricochet
a lot of
would
moves.
do a lot of new stuff.
When he was younger, yeah.
When he was younger, not so much these days. The Amazing Red innovated many of the high spots that pretty much everyone does now.
Yeah.
The Code Red, the Spanish Fly, the Canadian Destroyer apparently was his invention, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
The Dongplex.
Oh, that was Candice LeRae, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah, she would do the Dongplex, and Joey Ryan would do the Boobplex in their mixed tag matches.
Oh, is that a real thing?
That was
Because
a real
I was just
thing.
making a joke.
Oh no, totally. She would when
Not
when,
to be confused with the U-Pornplex.
yeah, that's a sponsored move.
Joey Ryan suplexing someone with his dong,
Yeah, that's different.
as opposed to suplexing someone by their dong.
But yeah, Candice still
Important
does it.
distinction.
She just does it like she just does the same movement to women now by getting kind of a high crotch on them. But she'd just go behind dudes, put her hands around them, get them under their crotch, and then throw them over her head.
This is a question that I was thinking about during another match that we were watching. At what point in wrestling history did the ring design start to diverge from boxing ring design, right? Like when did people start putting springs in there?
That's a very good question. I don't know exactly what the answer to that is.
I mean, very few rings have literal springs in there.
I've only seen like one or two.
Occasionally they do, but yeah, very occasionally.
Wait. So where does the springiness come from?
From the boards bending in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, that's all
Really,
it is,
that's
yeah.
all it. That's all
Yeah.
it is. There's no spring mechanism in there.
Most
There's no-
wrestling rings are made. There's a steel frame on the four sides with 4 steel ring posts. Cables on the bottom holding the bottom together, because if you just put the ropes on, the tops can collapse into each other, the ropes. And then the surface, you have steel beams crossing for structural integrity. Then you put wooden boards that go all the way across the ring, like single long wooden boards that go all the way across the ring that settle within the frame. And then an amateur wrestling mat on top of that, not 4 of them. And then you put
an inch or two thick.
an inch or 2 thick, and then a canvas piece on top of it, and that's all.
Wow. So
Yeah.
when I'm just like trying to like work out like the physics of, not that I'm like a physics
Yeah.
master. At least not one recognized by mainstream academia. That like
Physicistician.
Evan, did you go to Hollywood Upstairs Medical College too?
they didn't let me in. I had to go to the downstairs one. But because whenever I see like the springiness in the ring, like I'm amazed that that's just wood and that it's not breaking. Like I can't like
The boards crack all the time, and you got to replace them.
Or not.
Right?
Just tape them together.
Put the bad boards on the end, and get the good boards in the
warped
middle.
ones.
You laugh because it's dangerous. Maintain your rings, guys. That's it. That's you're taught in wrestling training to, whenever possible, bump in the middle because it has the most give, and if you bump towards the sides of the ring, it has a lot less give. They announce every week on Raw that like the apron is the hardest part of the ring, and that's because it's a steel beam with like a wrestling mat on top of it. Like you don't want to bump on the apron, and people do, and don't. By the way.
So AEW pay-per-view just happened, AEW Revolution. I thought it was pretty good. Jericho lost the title, sadly.
Yeah.
to whom?
To Jon Moxley.
Oh, okay.
So a worthy successor.
Also, like kayfabe brother, Fozzie's going on tour throughout April and May. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a hot rematch this summer.
Yeah.
But Jericho had, and he called it this, and I think it very much was his greatest entrance ever.
Oh yeah.
And it started with so Meredith Bell.
Yeah, it's Meredith Bell's her name.
she posted a video of her singing Judas in My Mind a cappella.
Yeah.
Yes.
With like the kind of thing where it's like 5 different videos of her singing at once, doing a full arrangement of it. It's great. Look it up on her Twitter.
So AEW saw this and were like, you need to sing his entrance theme for his entrance at Revolution.
Well, she says Jericho himself saw it on
wow.
Twitter and messaged her himself a couple days later, like, can you get a choir together?
And she was like, "Can I?"
Oh yeah, no, I met Meredith a few times just in my journeys in wrestling. She's way cool. I was so happy that she she's always wanted to sing at a wrestling event, so she got it.
She's the Chikara ring announcer now.
She
Yes.
is right now. She is the Chikara ring announcer, and good for her.
So she and a full choir. Apparently they were like, do you know any choirs? And she's like, well, I got some friends. And so they put a full choir together. They sing the whole song pretty much, or like the first verse and chorus.
Yeah.
Before
About a
Jericho
minute and a
comes
half of
out.
it.
It's absolutely beautiful. Then Jericho comes out. And to the recording, the normal recording of the song, and they get right up to like the middle of the chorus, and then they cut out the music, and the whole crowd continues it
that's
through the
cool.
chorus. And you can see, Jericho's the heel in this match, and you can see him not quite able to entirely stifle his grin.
Yeah.
And I was in tears watching the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Because Fozzy can't fill arenas. They're a good enough band. They can play decent venues. They can't fill arenas. Here he is in an arena full of people singing his song to him, and that's what he wants. So good for him. It's a good song. All that's great. Meredith was great. The choir was great. It's all great. Fantastic.
It was a good match, Moxley and Jericho. It was. I think it was a little much.
Yep.
I think
Moxley's matches are a little much.
Yeah.
the biggest news for us personally to come out, re Chris Jericho, is the fact that Chris Jericho fucking retweeted us this week.
Oh yeah.
And
Thanks, Chris.
we
Thanks,
had
Chris.
we had our biggest single day ever in downloads, and and something like 40,000 people saw the tweet or something like that, which is huge.
Hey, excuse me. I was retweeted this week by 4 different PokeTubers.
Oh shit!
That's true.
Oh
What's-
shit!
What about me?
Our compatriot Ref Katie Vela went to PAX East. She is an aspiring Pokemon recorder and YouTuber, and she got some good advice.
Is that when you drink a Pokeball through a straw?
No, it is people who play Pokemon for a living. Bless their fucking hearts.
Yeah. But yeah, we're all big fans of Chris Jericho here. Evan enjoyed all of the recordings about it. I'm really glad that we got to do it. It was not much better than their last 2-part episode about Hulk Hogan. That was a slog.
Oh, that was painful.
Oh, you should have seen the poop bucket after that
No, it
episode.
was
seriously.
out of control. Literally,
Just the
nobody
3 of us,
could
too.
control
Weirdly red and yellow.
it. Okay. Alrighty.
Real American poop.
Y'all should get that looked at.
So,
Not in this economy.
if you were enjoying our episodes about Chris Jericho thus far and enjoy this podcast in general, we have a couple requests for you. One, if you listen to us on a platform in which you can like, subscribe, or review, please do so. Please tell your friends. It really, really helps us out. And also, if you enjoy us to the point where you would like a whole extra episode of Contesting Wrestling every week, we put one out on our Patreon for $5 a month. There is also, if you want to support the podcast, but you don't want to do $5 a month because you have 10 other Patreons already, a lot of us are in that position now, we have a $1 tier where you don't get access to the bonus episode, but you do get access to the main feed episodes in advance because we record them several weeks in advance, and I post them to the Patreon basically whenever I finish editing them, which is usually 3 to 4 weeks in advance.
3, stay out of the ocean.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway we want everybody to have here.
Yeah, the ocean doesn't want you in there. It's salty.
Go to prowrestlingstudies.org, register for the WrestlePosium, April 4th, WrestleMania weekend. Even if all the WrestleMania events get canceled due to coronavirus, this is an online symposium, so it will still happen.
Perfect.
You don't have to go outside. You can just be infected with the virus of knowledge
Is that why
in your mind.
Is that why the poop bucket was red and yellow? Was it coronavirus?
No, I think that's more of a respiratory thing.
I think it's more of a respiratory thing,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Hulk Hogan, he does his comeback and he breathes in and out. Right? No?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh.
Please follow us on Twitter at ContestingW. Let
That's
us
why he's
know.
that color. Right?
Let us know what you think. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Evan Burke, etc. That's at Evan Burke ETC.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Diamondfire. That's at Dr. Diamondfire. Katie, you've got a new Twitter handle.
Yeah,
Yes?
follow me at Ref Katie.
And follow
Katy.
Katy.
Yes.
And follow me at Scribe Ben.
Alrighty, this has been Contesting Wrestling Minisode. We will see you on Monday for part 2/3 of our Chris Jericho extravaganza.
It's that one, not
12 parts.
Savage Steamboat, or do that.
Oh no, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. On Monday, you'll get a brief interlude in our Chris Jericho marathon, where we're going to cover a classic wrestling match with special guest Matt Josephson.
Oh, that's right.
And then time is a social construct, and I don't believe in it. Okay.
Thanks, Derrida.
Yeah, bunch of if you're a time cuck, this is not a place for you, all right?
Get the hell out, time cucks.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you, everybody.
This is Contesting Wrestling. We love you.